Have you ever wondered if animals from totally different worlds, and even a tiny human, could form a real family? Well, you're about to see it happen. Stick around for a story that will absolutely melt your heart. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss more tales like this. It all started on a sunny afternoon in a big, green backyard. There was Max, a golden retriever with a heart as golden as his fur. His tail was a constant, happy metronome, always wagging. Then there was Pip, a feisty green parrot who loved to mimic the doorbell, much to everyone's confusion. Sheldon, the wise old turtle, preferred the quiet life, slowly munching on lettuce under the shade of a rosebush. And then came Quackers, a little duckling who had wandered in one day and decided this yard was the best pond he'd ever seen. This unlikely group had their own rhythm. Max would gently nudge Sheldon with his nose, just to check if he was okay. Pip would squawk "pretty boy" from his perch whenever Quackers waddled by, splashing in his little kiddie pool. It was a strange but peaceful little kingdom. But their world was about to get a whole lot smaller and a whole lot louder. One day, the back door slid open, and out came their humans, carrying a tiny bundle. It was baby Leo. He had big, curious eyes and a tuft of brown hair that stuck straight up. The animals all paused. Max tilted his head, his ears perked up. Pip fell silent, which was a rare event. Sheldon even poked his head a little further out of his shell. Quackers stopped splashing and just stared. At first, they kept their distance. The baby made strange noises, little gurgles, loud cries, and happy squeals. It was a new sound in their quiet world. Max was the first to approach. He crept forward slowly, his tail giving a tentative wag. He sniffed Leo's tiny feet and then gave them a gentle lick. Leo giggled, a sound like tiny bells. From that moment on, Max appointed himself as Leo's furry guardian. He'd lay by the baby's blanket, his warm body a furry wall of protection. Pip, the parrot, was fascinated by the new noises. He started mimicking Leo's giggles. Soon, the backyard was filled with a chorus of real baby giggles and parrot-imitated giggles. It was impossible to tell which was which, and it made everyone laugh. Pip had found his new favorite sound. He'd sit on the back of a chair, rocking back and forth. He'd chortle, just like Leo. Quackers the duckling was a bit shy. He'd watch from his pool as the baby played on the grass. One afternoon, Leo's favorite red ball rolled away and plopped right into the duck's pool. Leo started to fuss, his face scrunching up. Before anyone could move, Quackers used his beak and pushed the ball to the edge of the pool, right where Leo's mom could reach it. He quacked proudly, as if to say, "I helped." From then on, their game was set. Leo would accidentally drop things near the pool, and Quackers would be his official retriever. And what about Sheldon, the slow and steady turtle? You might think he'd be uninterested, but he played his part too. Leo was mesmerized by him. He'd lie on his tummy during tummy time and just watch Sheldon slowly, deliberately, make his way across the lawn. It was like watching the most calming, interesting show in the world. Sheldon's slow, predictable movements were soothing for the baby. He'd reach out a tiny hand, not to grab, but just to gently touch Sheldon's smooth, hard shell. Sheldon, who was usually wary of sudden movements, seemed to understand. He'd pause and let the baby pat his shell, a silent agreement between the oldest and youngest members of the backyard family. As the months turned into a year, their bond grew deeper. It wasn't just a collection of pets and a baby. It was a team. They had a language all their own. A soft woof from Max meant Leo's waking up. A sharp squawk from Pip meant the mailman is here. A happy quack from Quackers meant look at my splash. And a slow, steady crawl from Sheldon toward the group meant I want to be part of this, too. One particularly warm evening, the whole family was out in the yard. Leo, who was now learning to crawl, was making his way across the grass. Max trotted alongside him, a furry shadow. Pip was on the picnic table, whistling a little tune. Quackers was snoozing by his pool. Leo crawled right up to Sheldon, who was enjoying a piece of strawberry. The baby sat up and watched, completely captivated. Then, he did something amazing. He looked at Sheldon, then looked back at his mom and dad. He pointed a chubby finger and said his very first word. It wasn't mama. It wasn't dada. It was Tora. Everyone froze. Pip stopped whistling. Max's tail stopped wagging for a second. Leo just smiled, proud of himself, and said it again. Tor. The yard erupted in joyful chaos. The parents were laughing and clapping. Max started barking happily, running in circles around Leo and Sheldon. Pip, not to be outdone, immediately started screeching, Tor in his high-pitched voice. Even quackers woke up and let out a series of excited quacks. In the middle of it all sat Leo and Sheldon, the baby, giggling at the commotion he'd caused, and the ancient turtle, who had just been given a name by his tiniest friend. It was a perfect moment, a snapshot of their unbelievable, beautiful family. A dog, a parrot, a duck, a turtle, and a baby, all connected by a bond of pure, unconditional love. They proved that family isn't just about being the same. It's about being there for each other, no matter how different you are. It's about finding your flock, your pack, your everything, in the most unexpected of places. This story just goes to show you that love and friendship can blossom anywhere, between anyone. If this made you smile, please hit that like button and share it with someone who could use a little bit of happiness today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Follow for more heartwarming tales.